Good morning, children. So this today is our second part of our flower we are going to discuss. In the first half you already studied the basic structure of a flower, what are the essential words, what are the non-essential words, and how can you differentiate each part of the flower, and what are the terms coming under each part. And also you also studied the classification of flower based on the position of floral whorls like hypogynous, epigynous and perigynous. Okay. So in this class, first you will study the classification of flower based on the symmetry. Okay. So what do you mean by a symmetry? That's actually a definite shape. Based on that shape we are assigning it is symmetrical or not. Look at our face, it has a definite symmetry. When you cut along this, you will get 2 equal half. Likewise, based on the symmetry, flowers are classified into 3 groups: actinomorphic, zygomorphic and asymmetrical. When a flower can be divided into 2 equal halves through any vertical plane, it is actinomorphic. If it can be divided into 2 halves along one plane, that is zygomorphic. If no symmetry, that's asymmetry. So this is the first one, actinomorphic. See here in this flower, when you cut along this, you will get 2 equal halves. When you cut along this, you will get 2 equal halves. Cut along this, you will get 2 equal halves. Okay. So that is called as actinomorphic flower. So one half is the exact mirror image of the other half. Okay. Then in the zygomorphy, you see this is an orchid flower. So all parts are of different sizes and shape. So when you cut along this half only, you will get 2 equal half. So when you cut along this side, what will be the result? You will never get a 2 equal half. Okay. So this part will be larger in that time. Okay. So along this plane, you will get 2 equal halves. Such flowers are called a zygomorphic flower. So only one plane you will get mirror images. Okay. Orchid flowers are usually zygomorphic. Then asymmetric means there is you cannot give equal halves. Not belongs to actinomorphic and zygomorphic. Okay. Now the terms regarding calyx. So calyx is the non-essential word. It is the outermost word of a flower. You studied it, green colored one. Clear? Then calyx can be of based on the sepals condition. The unit of calyx is sepal. I hope you remember it. Last class I discussed. Okay. So gamosepalous means the condition where sepals are united, and polysepalous means sepals are free. So when sepals are united, the condition is gamosepalous. Gamo means united. Poly means sepals are free. Okay. In the case of corolla also same condition. The unit of corolla is petals. So when petals are free, you can call it as polypetalous. When petals are united, you can call it as gamopetalous. Okay. I hope you understand the part. Gamo means united, poly means free. So gamosepalous, polysepalous, gamopetalous and polypetalous. Clear? Okay. Then next. So based on these outer worlds of petals and sepals, we can identify a flower. Or while describing a plant, this is very important to describe a flower in technical terms. So in that part, you need to note how these petals or sepals are arranged in a flower. Clear? So arrangement of sepals or petals in the flower bud is known as estivation. Okay, with respect to members of same word. For example, if a corolla having 5 petals, how these 5 petals are arranged? We already studied if 5 petals are united, that is gamopetalous. If 5 petals are free, that is polypetalous. So how these petals are arranged? That is the condition is known as estivation. So there are basically three types of estivation. One is valvate, means when sepals and petals do not overlap each other at the margin. So they are free at the margin. Like you take an example, different flowers are there. They are free at the margins. They never touch at the margins. That is known as valvate, without overlapping. But twisted means sepals and petals overlap with each other. When you take an example of a shoe flower, you can see one petal on other petal, one petal on other petal. Its margins overlap each other. Okay. Then imbricate means if the margins of sepals and petal overlap in irregular pattern. In twisted means that is in a regular pattern. One sepal or inside, other sepal outside. One inside, other outside. Like alternate it is arranged in twisted distribution. Okay. But in imbricate you cannot clearly say the pattern. That is irregular pattern of arrangement. So anyway, this is the arrangement of sepals and petals, but it can be clearly visible in the bud condition. Okay, in the flower bud. When you look at the flower bud, you can see how it is arranged. And that condition is known as what? Aestivation. So when I am showing the picture, you will clearly understand what it is. Okay. See, this is an different types of imbricate aestivation. Valvate, twisted, imbricate. Imbricate are of three types. This is the imbricate aestivation. So here it is drawn, the petals are drawn like this. So see, I think you got an idea of aestivation, how the petals are arranged. Okay. This is a petal, two end of this petal, other two petals. So other two petals are inside this petal. This is margin inside, then other two inside the margin of these two petals. Likewise, okay. So what is imbricate means? It is not in a regular pattern, differently arranged. That is of three types. First one is descendingly imbricate or vexillary aestivation. That's very important one. So there are two groups of petals. One is posterior petal arranged on the posterior side. When you look at the flower stem, then or an axis, the flower posterior side and anterior side, both sides are there. So posterior petal is usually the large petal in these cases. So posterior petal or large petal, and it overlap one margin of the two lateral petals. Okay, it overlap two lateral petals. Clear? And another one is the other margin of these petals. This overlap two lateral petals, and other margin of these petals, where it is in the margin of last two petals. So this petal is the last one that are united petal. That is known as keel petal in definite case. This is standard petal. These two are wing petal, and this is keel petal. This we explain in the case of Fabaceae family or our pea family. Okay. So this is the condition here, and you can see this. This is keel petal. This is descendingly imbricate, and this is what our wing petals. Okay. So this posterior petal is the outermost, that is outside. Other two petal inside, means it is overlapped by these two. Again this is overlapped by these two. That condition means descendingly imbricate, means coming from larger to small like this, descendingly imbricate. Example, corolla of Fabaceae. Then another one is ascendingly imbricate, just opposite condition. So here posterior large petal is inside, okay, innermost, overlapped by a margin of two lateral petals. Then again it is overlapped by two anterior petals. So this is a very important phenomenon or a feature of the family Caesalpiniaceae. You know Gulmohar plant, Mayflower. When you take the example of Mayflower, you know Bauhinia, that is Mandaram. Okay. Then you take an example of Cassia fistula, Kanikonna. In all these cases, this type of aestivation, that is ascendingly. Here posterior odd petal means posterior large single petal is innermost. But what about this condition? Posterior large petal is outside. So just remember that. Posterior large petal outside, others inside coming like that. In descendingly, posterior large petal inside, others outside like that coming. So this is descendingly imbricate, vexillary, characteristic feature of Fabaceae family. The other one is ascendingly imbricate, characteristic feature of family Caesalpiniaceae. Clear? Okay. Then next imbricate aestivation is quincuncial aestivation. What is this condition? Here when you take an example of 5 petal condition, 2 petals are inside, 2 petals are outside, and 1 petals in and out. Understood? 2 petals completely in, 2 petals completely out, and 1 petal in and out. You can have an example like Mureya means curry leaf. So I will show you the pictures. So see here, these are the petals. So this is the valvate condition. So you can draw it like this, valvate condition. See, this is the petals. What about the margins? Margins never touch each other. They never overlap each other in a single plane or in a single circle. They never touch, they never overlap. That is valvate. So this is what twisted. You can see one petal, it's this margin inside. Next petal, margin outside. They two overlap. Okay. Inside, outside, inside, outside. One inside, one outside, like that. It's one end is in outside, other end inside. Next petal, one end outside, other end inside. So likewise, you see here, this side inside. These petals, this side in and other side out. Okay. Likewise, everyone is arranged. Okay. One part in, one part out of a single petal. This is twisted estuation. It's a common phenomenon is just you observed Alamanda plant, Columbi, Columbi plant, yellow flower plant. You just look at that flower, you can observe clearly this one. Okay. Then this is the next condition where you can see what how many petals are in. This petal is in and out, one petal. Then this petal is in and out. What about this petal? In and out. This completely out, this completely in. Means one petal is completely in, one petal is completely out, others in and out. This is a condition of imbricate estuation. See here, what is the condition? Two petals. See, this petal and this petal. Two petals completely in. What about others? Two petals completely out. Then one petal is in and out. What is the estuation? Quincuncial estuation. Clear? 1, 2 completely in. See, 1, 2 completely out. What about this one? In and out. One side in, one side out. See, this is a quincuncial estuation. And see here, this is what? The posterior large petal is outside. What about this condition? Descendingly imbricate or vexillary estuation. Okay. Posterior large petal is completely out. Next two wing petal inside, overlapping its margin. Again keel petal overlapping its margin. So down, 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 down like this. Large, small, small, small like this. So this is descendingly imbricate or vexillary. What about here? Posterior petal is completely inside. Others out, out like this. This you can call ascendingly imbricate in the condition. So this is a type of imbricate estuation. So these are the 5 types, 5 common types: valvate, twisted, then what is this? Imbricate, then this is quincuncial, and this is the vexillary or descendingly imbricate estuation. So you should study this very well. Clear? So one more picture to show this ascendingly imbricated, descendingly imbricated. See, ascendingly imbricated, posterior petal inside, other petal it's outside overlapping, again outside. Okay. So now let us pass on to the next word, andrecium. So andrecium, in this picture you can see this is the andrecium. Okay. This yellow colored is what? The anthers or the stamens that bearing pollen grains, and this is the stigma. That is a gynoecium, part of the gynoecium. Okay. So here you can see the structure of the anther very well. This is the anthers and this is the filament. Together you can call it a stamen. When you cut open this anther, you can see 4 chambers with the pollen sacs. That is the structure of the stamen. So now we are going to discuss about the andrecium. Okay. What is the unit of andrecium? Stamens. What are the parts of stamens? Stamen having anthers and filaments. Okay. See. How these anthers are classified based on the attachment of filament. You know what is a filament? This is the filament. Clear? Filament attaches to the anther. Okay. So based on this attachment, you can classify them into 4 types: basifixed, adnate, dorsifixed, versatile. What is basifixed? Filament of stamen is attached to base of the anther. What you see in the first slide, base of the anther. That is basifixed. Now, filament attached along the whole length of anther, you can call adnate. Along the whole length is adnate, base is basifixed. What is dorsifixed? On the back of the anther, if filament attached, that is dorsifixed. Then one more is versatile, just in the attached in the middle portion of the and both ends are free. Clear? See, this is a 4 types. This is a fixed basal portion. What is this? Adnate along the full length filament attached. What is this? Back part filament attached. That is dorsifixed. What is this? The middle portion, or you can call in the middle portion, or what is the condition here? Middle portion. So both ends are free. See, both ends are free. It is versatile, means it is moving type, or it is ilagikondirikkunna condition. That is versatile. This condition is usually visible in rice, paddy, etc. So wind pollinated plants having that condition. Okay. So basifixed, adnate, dorsifixed and versatile based on the attachment of filament to anthers. Clear? Now next one is gynoecium. So gynoecium, the unit is what? Carpels, having 2 types, apocarpus and syncarpus. Apocarpus means carpels free, syncarpus means carpels united. 2 condition what we described, gamosepalous, polysepalous, likewise same way here, apocarpus and syncarpus. The unit of gynoecium is carpel. If carpels are free, they are apocarpus. If they are united, you can call it as syncarpus. Okay. So I think that's all for today. So I, in brief, or I can conclude by saying that first we classified flowers based on the symmetry, zygomorphic, actinomorphic, asymmetrical. Clear? Then we move on to the aestivation, arrangement of sepals and petals in the bud condition, valvate, twisted and imbricate. Imbricate 3 types, ascendingly imbricate, descendingly imbricate and quinqueritial. Okay. So based on the overlapping or condition. Clear? You have to study example also. Then we move on to andrecium. So what is an andrecium? What is structure? Anther, filament, pollen grains, etc. Then how it is classified based on the attachment of filaments, basifixed, adnate, dorsifixed and versatile. Okay. Then we move on to gynoecium. What is structure of gynoecium? You know what is? Style, stigma and ovary. Ovary contains ovules. Okay. And gynoecium, the unit of gynoecium is carpels. So based on that 2 types, that is apocarpus condition and syncarpus condition. So that's all about today's class. I hope you enjoyed well. Thank you very much.